When I was 11, I witnessed my very good friend die in front of me. He came off his bike, BMX, hit a car, had a cardiac arrest, had a seizure, all very graphic. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I started taking recreational drugs at 17, 18, weed, and then taking Molly and ecstasy and speed, 19 years old, like going out fucking every weekend. Drugs first, and then 20s was drink. Everyone has a story. And a lot of people that I work with today, I've worked with for so long in either at this company or my previous company, because very incestuous in a good way, the kind of the world of advertising and visual effects and design across the globe. It's all the same clients, all the same advertising agencies. But a lot of the people I work with today know old Luke, which was a facade of a fun-loving, happy-go-lucky, alcohol-fueled, cocaine-riddled, awesome, let's hang out with Luke, that's going to be fun. But inside was wanting to end everything.
What started your addiction to alcohol? What the trigger?
I thought it was one thing, but it turns out it was another thing.
Okay.
So when I was 11, I witnessed my very good friend die in front of me. He came off his bike, BMX, hit a car, had a cardiac arrest, had a seizure, all very graphic. I didn't know what the fuck to do. And then...
So young.
So young. And then to make matters worse, we had been chased by some kids that were trying to steal his bike. So his death went to criminal courts, and I had to sit in the witness box. Time off school, I was in the papers, right? I'm 11 years old. It was rough. I can remember every frame of that event, pixel perfect. But I can't really remember much of my childhood before that, which is very interesting. It was such a pivotal moment in my life. That seemed to be the kind of the fracture of where whatever my childhood was, and then whatever the rest of me was to be. I was always hyperactive, was always extremely annoying and loud. And the amount of times my parents would tell me I was showing off or I was overtired when I was a kid. I was both of those things. And then I went into myself. I became very reclusive after that happened. It took me a very long time to find my confidence again. The issue was that I just thought everyone was going to die. I was convinced everyone was going to die.
Sure.
Convinced my parents were going to die. My brother was going to die. Every time they were late back from the post office or the bank or the thing, I'd have to go with them eventually. I'd be like, I'm coming with you because I don't want you to die. Because it's like, there's someone who's alive and now there's someone who's dead in the blink of an eye. And you're like, that's not what a child should be seeing.
It was traumatizing. It was something that story around that, what happens to people.
Yeah.
And you got exposed to it at such a young age.
Yeah. I didn't do therapy. I didn't have anyone really telling me that wasn't going to happen to everyone. Soon after that, my parents got divorced. So of course I blame myself for that. And I really did. Fully blame myself. And that hurt.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was a hindrance to people. I started to develop this belief that I was in the way in some way or another. And that might have been survivor's guilt as well, or a subconscious telling me that I should have done better to save my friend, or I don't know. I don't know why. And by the way, most of the stuff I'm saying has come in like retrospective like therapy and hindsight. I didn't know this was happening when I was going through it. So I was very late to puberty. I'm pretty sure as a result of traumatic shock to my system.
Absolutely.
So when I was 16, I was still a prepubescent little grommet at school.
Oh my God.
Being the shortest person in the entire year and having feelings that you're worthless is fucking tough. But I couldn't show anyone anything. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? My parents had to fake sickness notes to gym so I wouldn't have to be in the shower or change in the changing room. So embarrassed about all of that stuff. You put that all in a fucking blender and you're left with someone who's fucked up in the head, like really traumatized. So my father would not be very supportive all along the way of this journey. He's passed away 8 years ago. I talk about him a lot and I feel bad because my mum listens to me on podcasts and she understands and she feels she's in agreement, but she'll say things like he loved me in his own way, which he just didn't tell you. I'm like, he didn't tell me. And guess what parents should do? They should tell their kids that they love them.
Yeah.
And they should tell their kids that they're there for them, that they support them, that they believe in them. They should build them up.
Yeah.
And so not having a father figure who, to make matters worse, would bully me emotionally and psychologically bully me in terms of, you haven't done this, do that again, you didn't clean this properly, tidy that up, what's wrong with you, why can't you do anything properly? What the fuck?
You already were feeling self-conscious, insecure,
Correct.
had other traumatic thoughts, and to have our parents turn on you and create more insecurities and you down even further, that's tough.
Yeah, when I was just before their divorce, I guess I was 13, 14, I remember coming back from school and then if his car was outside, I wouldn't go home. That's my house that I live in with my parents and I was too scared to walk through the front door. That's not fucking normal.
No.
So by the time I was 17, thankfully, I had developed at the speed of the Incredible Hulk transforming. I grew a foot in about a year. 5'2" to 6'2" between the age of 16 and 17. I'm 6'4" now. I certainly told those motherfuckers at school in the last year who was boss. I got the prettiest girlfriend in their final year. Pranced around the playground with her on my arm. Lost my virginity to her. I played catch up, but little did I know that the trauma, that hadn't fixed anything.
Did you feel that big growth spurt? People took notice of you in a different way.
Of course they did.
Build up your confidence at all?
I, to this very day, still have the mentality of a lame, injured, tiny, prepubescent boy.
That's how
So no,
it was.
it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't fix me. Certainly not immediately. It gave me an inferiority complex, if I'm honest with you. So I had no confidence when it came to talking to girls or making a move or my ability to learn, do well at school. I just felt like a fucking failure. And so I started taking recreational drugs at 17, 18, weed, a lot of weed, which is just so bad for your brain at that age. And then started taking like Molly and ecstasy and speed, 19 years old, like going out fucking every weekend. Drugs first, and then 20s was drink. And I was no longer a recluse. Like I was back to my old self. I was the life and soul of the party, regardless of the drink or the drugs. I'd found my mojo. I was a leader from a social standpoint. I had a great big group of friends, but I still suffered from, this is my role. I'm not deserving of anything else. I'm just a cheerleader. But when I took all the drugs, then it allowed me to make more confident moves with women and girlfriends. And I just felt like I was 5, 6 years behind with everything. Like I just didn't have the fucking wherewithal. I feel like everyone missed the manual, didn't they, on how to go through puberty and be a teenager. I don't think I'd figured that it was working as medication, which it was. I just think I just thought it was fun. I also had a slightly reckless and destructive side to me, because if you think in the back of your mind that you are worth nothing, it's easier to take risks. So I take a lot of drugs, like a lot. And then in my early 20s, finishing up university and going into the kind of the work arena in Soho in London is when the drinking started. And drink would become the thing that would nearly take me down. That was 20 years of drinking, taking cocaine, working in media, TV, advertising, Soho, pub on every street corner, drinking through the day with clients, drinking in the afternoon with clients, going out in the evening with clients. I got married when I was 30, and having children when I was 35 was a huge trigger for me. Like, it just knocked me for 6 because it brought everything back about the fragility of life. I questioned what I was doing. I questioned my ability to be a father. I was fucking terrified. So that's when things really came off the rails. I was drinking alcoholically. Like, I'd managed to stop the coke, which I thought was a win for me. So that kind of, in my mind, allowed me to drink more. I thought, oh, at least I'm not taking coke, but the drink would become just horrendous. I started going to AA when my kids were 5 and 2. So when I was 40, I'm 51 now. And I couldn't figure it out. I'd go to AA meetings and then I'd go to the pub afterwards. And then I'd tell everyone I was sober in the AA meetings, but I wasn't. I'd turn up to AA meetings drunk and pretend I was 3 weeks sober. I was just kidding myself. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They're just there for you, to help you if you want to be helped. No one's judging you. That's just the craziest thing in my mind. Why am I doing this? I thought, I can't even fucking win at this. I can't even figure this shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The 5 years between 40 and 45, I came to the US when I was 41 in the absolute throes of the worst drinking with the kids who were tiny and my then wife. And the next 4 years would be the worst 4 years of my life, not because of anything to do with the children, just because of my mental health. I nosedived. I couldn't function without drinking, but then I couldn't live or figure out decision-making or hangovers in the morning. I'd start drinking in the morning. I started hiding booze around the house. I started going out for pick up a broccoli and downing 2 bottles of white wine in the car in 10 minutes, like fully addicted. And then my ex-wife would be, I can tell you're drunk, and I'm barefaced lying to her. And eventually enough was enough. She gave me enough warnings. And then it became about the safety of the children and was I drink driving? And it was a mess by the end, separate rooms. And I'd lose 3 or 4 days at a time. I wouldn't know. I'd forget that I was married and had kids. Couldn't possibly tell you where I'd been.
How much do you think you were consuming on a daily basis?
Anything from 4 bottles of wine to 7 bottles of wine. It's not very good for your body.
No.
The truth of the matter is I'm waking up in the morning and I'm off the back of drinking 3 bottles of wine at night. It's tough. I'd wake up some mornings and go to get my car and it wouldn't be there. Don't know where it was. Don't know where my car was. Don't know where I'd been. Don't know how I got home.
Locked out.
So the poor blackout drunk was my absolute, it's so shameful as well. I don't have any shame anymore. That's fine. I'm so proud of what I did to overcome it and where I've got to now. I don't have any shame talking about it. What's the point? I enjoy talking about it because it's so fucking utterly wild. I'm like, who the fuck was that person? What was I doing? What was I doing? But blackout drinking would be like, with work coming in the next day, knowing you went to the pub with a bunch of people, but you can't remember anything beyond that. And then coming into work and then having 2 or 3 people come up to you and be like, you okay? Did you get home all right? I'd be like, what had happened? And they're like, do you want to know? I would get calls from the bars the next morning, your credit card's still here and can you pay for the damage? I'm like, what do you mean? What bar are you? You bought this, that, and the other, and then you fell through a glass table. I'd wake up with bruises. I'd wake up with cuts. I'd wake up with my entire hip would be bruised. I'm lucky to be alive, is the honest truth.
Yeah.
And
That's hard.
that's just someone in turmoil. That's what that is. Someone in absolute fucking emotional turmoil.
Yeah. What was the moment that you decided I gotta stop?
My wife served me with divorce papers, which was completely understandable. She said that I couldn't see the kids unless I was sober. So we signed up for something called SoberLink, which is a breathalyzer test, which is linked to a central server, which I would blow into every morning and every evening, which would send her an email. It's a thing that rehab places use, and it's a place where also divorce attorneys will say if someone's had a problem with drink or drugs, they need to prove their sobriety to get custody of their children.
Yeah.
I agreed to that. And even with that, I couldn't, even with being faced with my children, I'm not seeing my children again. I'm still thinking of ways that I can cheat the breath test. The breath test, it's a cool little black device, has a camera on it. So you can't have someone else do it. I can't find the passer and buy on the street to do it. I'm doing it at 8 in the morning and 8 in the evening. I started saying to her, well, it's actually, I didn't get the test tonight. I'm like, oh, it's broken. The test is broken. She's like, what are you talking about? The lying that I put her through, and the fact, the barefaced lying that made her feel like she was going insane. She's either I'm going insane or I can see in plain sight what's happening here. And of course she was right. When you're addicted, you're a liar and a thief and a cheat most of the time.
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd see my kids every weekend and lie about the testing not working. And then Friday night before I was due to get them on Saturday morning, I'd been drinking. I'd been drinking up until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I thought, oh, I'm getting my kids tomorrow. I better stop drinking because if I smell a booze when they come over, you know what I mean? So I'm still like cheating the system, lying through my teeth. By the way, I've never told anyone this, so this is quite liberating. She calls me up and she says, I don't believe you. I think you're still drinking and you need to blow on the test at 9 p.m. this evening. And if it's not negative, then I'm taking the kids away for a prolonged period of time.
How'd you feel?
I felt like my world was ending, and I felt like that was the end of my life. I was like, this is it. This is the end of the line. Like the game ends here. Do you know what I mean? So I had a fake personal breathalyzer, which you can buy at CVS, which you can just blow into, which is designed for people that want to like double check they haven't had too much to drink before if they've left the bar. And I had that on purpose because I'd blow on that first just to double check because I was so terrified that my breathalyzer would come negative when I blew it into the official machine. And so I was blowing on it all afternoon, knowing I had to do this official test at 9 or lose the kids. And it was just positive, like 1.9. It's meant to be 0. Over the limit, I think it's 0.4. I'm at 1.9 at 3 in the afternoon. By 4 in the afternoon, I'm at 1.6. By 5 in the afternoon, I'm at 1.1. By 6, 7 in the afternoon, I'm at 0.7. I'm running around the block trying to sweat out alcohol.
Yeah.
Like a madman.
I bet. It's
Fucking-
gotta do this at 9 p.m.
Like a crazy person. Like an actual crazy person. This is my panic, anxiety, the physical reaction to what I was going through from a trauma standpoint, from everything from when my friend died to when I thought my parents had died in a car, to every single part of physical symptoms that come with panic were attacking my whole body. And I thought, what am I going to do? And I blew into this thing at 9 o'clock and it was 0 for no good reason other than like God or I don't know fucking what. Whoever or whatever had been looking after me all these times I'd fallen down the stairs or blacked out in a pub or blacked out. 0. And that was the last time I ever took a drink.
And were you shocked that it was 0?
So I was.
Yeah.
No, of course I was ready to come clean, admit defeat, and say, have the divorce lawyers. That was 6.5 years ago. I didn't need to go through those physical feelings again. That feeling was so disgusting in every possible way. I felt like I was on the cusp of dying. And there had been times before leading up to that point that I drunk so much that I thought I was going to die. I'd been thrown out of the house. I'd maxed out my credit cards. I was living in motels, spent some nights in my car. That was the last time I took a drink. Imagine what state my fucking dumb, fucked up, traumatized brain is in. And I didn't know any of the stuff I'm telling you now. I didn't know why I was doing that to myself, why I was willing to risk everything like that, throw it all away. I was so sad.
Even though you were committed, without a doubt, you were too afraid to lose your kids, which was your wake-up call. But then did you have cravings?
I really embraced as much whatever anyone thinks about it. At least you have, especially in LA, it's a bunch of very cool, good-looking people in AA in LA. It's quite the scene. I have friends for life that were there. The next day, I actually said to my wife, I need to get myself sorted. Like, I need to, for whatever reason, I had to do detox as well because my body was like dependent on booze.
Yeah.
That was rough. Like going through cold turkey from alcohols. I don't know what cold turkey from heroin was like, but I felt like my brain was trying to crawl out of my head and I felt like I had spiders underneath my skin scampering around for about a week. And then I thought I was going yellow, which was just like literal hallucinations. I thought my skin had gone yellow from jaundice, which was in my mind. I mean, it's fucking crazy when I think about all of this. And then it was just the mental recovery. That moment with the breathalyzer was like a lightning bolt to me.
Yeah.
And I blew on that thing for years to come because it held me accountable and never missed one. And I'm so proud to this day that I don't have a fucking ounce of desire in the world to take drugs or drink ever again. Of course, that's because of my kids, but it's because of my life now. It's a completely different life. And I'm a different human because I had to start from a place of my value on the planet. So like all the things that I'd managed to do in my career and all the things I'd managed to have and live in big houses with my ex-wife and it was all gone. I had to understand that none of that's important because that didn't make me happy. It might have made me happy if I was feeling okay about myself, but those are not the things where happiness will begin.
It's not.
It was a slow but pretty monumental journey, like finding friends who have been through what I've been through. I love a good fucking ex-addicts, alcoholic story. I love the honesty. Nothing's off the table because we've been so dishonest all our life.
Right.
It's very cathartic for me. I went through therapy and I did some kind of rehab stuff. And as I found out about the hows and the whys of me and understanding, my father passed away at round about that point that I was having that like major breakdown and my ex-wife had thrown me out and so none of that helped. The reckoning of everything that had been instilled in me as a child and what I went through with my friend dying and how my father seemingly perceived me and the fight against lack of development as a child at the age of 16. And it was all of that. There's cumulative. All of those things transpired to fuck me up in the most fucking hardcore way possible.
When you sobered up and really got past the withdrawals,
Yeah.
Were you in a position where you had to get to know yourself all over again?
Yeah, 100%. But also understand, like, all I'd known for fun was drinking and
Yeah.
socializing and party, which, by the way, I hated. I would get so nervous before I go out for a night out because I couldn't tell you where it was going to end. And 9 times out of 10, it wouldn't end well. So the first thing that I started to understand was this: I'd managed to wipe away this, like, this not knowing. And so the satisfaction of being able to go out in the evening and come home at 9 or 10 o'clock at night and be in bed or watch a movie was thrilling to me. It was like the most wonderful thing. And I still do it to this day. We'll go out for a Christmas party and I'll see all those people that can drink normally or can't drink normally for that matter. I'll see the people that have drunk too much. I'll see the people that are sneakily taking drugs, and I'll drive home at 9:30 in my Jeep down the freeway and I'll just be like, "Boop, boop, 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 boop," boop," and I'm thinking, this is delightful.
Yeah.
I started to have honest conversations with my children now who are old enough to understand, a 15-year-old turning 16 who's now entering into that world. Had no problems, by the way, who was 6'1" by the time he was. It's not even like getting to know myself again, it's getting to know myself. Because I never had, never once. I was too scared to stop and think. And also with all of that came anxiety, like major anxiety disorder. So I went through depression in my 20s. And I've always had anxiety. Like I very happily take anti-anxiety, right? Which help. And if I don't take them, it's crazy. My brain goes at 100 miles an hour, even with medication. And I'll very quickly spiral into catastrophizing about things because that part of me may have been healed, but it still resides. And none of that's going to lead me to drink or take drugs again. But what it does is sometimes I second guess myself. And I realize that's just old me saying, "You sure you got this? You sure you're good enough? You sure you deserve this? You sure you're..." My long-term partner, girlfriend of 7 years, she's really good and understanding about my background, my addiction, and my doubts about myself. Because I'm a big guy and no one... If you look at the cover of the book, you're not going to see there's all this stuff inside, all this trauma. And I think like trauma recovery is a lifetime journey, but it's also a very exciting lifetime journey.
Exciting about it.
It's like knowing once you understand that it's not taking you down anymore and finding things out about why you were traumatized, even if it means you reliving some of those traumas and like turning another page in this book about yourself that you had no idea about. It's thrilling to me. It still feels like the tip of the iceberg. It feels like this is like the beginning of the second part of my like reasoning on the planet. Yeah, and you can hear it in my voice. I'm excited to tell you that I nearly drank myself to death, or I used to wake up in the morning and think I wanted to kill myself because I was too scared to the day ahead. And it's so liberating being able to say this stuff out loud and know it's not there to bring me down anymore. It's not there to find me. Like all of this stuff made me.
What were the things that really helped you get through the hardest times of recovery?
The people you surround yourself with. It's no good for me to try and get sober hanging around with a bunch of people that have drinking problems. Not recommended. I was lucky enough to find a good bunch of people here in LA. And interestingly, about 70% of people are sober in LA these days. Everyone's been through something. And a lot of us traumatized humans are people pleasers, right? Because we think that's going to make us feel better by making other people feel better. But 9 times out of 10, people are just taking us for granted. So I would be hanging around with people that were taking me for granted, or I'd be hanging around with people that weren't reciprocating from a friendship standpoint. So once you figure out that friendships are two-way streets and you start to find people that really understand you and you understand them and you can be on the same level, which I have 2 or 3 super close, great friends out here, same in the UK that I left behind. all know my story and all know my journey. Some are sober, some aren't sober. And family, and my mom and my brother, like people are the anchor.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with the right people and you make those executive decisions correctly, and you kick people to the curb that don't serve you well, you kick people to the curb that don't make you feel very good about yourself, or you kick people to the curb that remind you of your faults all the time. Oh, fuck off. You sound like my dad. Fuck off. I didn't need you in my
Right.
life.
I've already
Like,
had that thing.
yeah, fuck off, you weirdo. Like, you've got some
Right.
problems.
Yeah.
So,
Want somebody else to drag down with you.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I used to be like, oh, they've asked us to dinner, but we don't like those people. Why are we going to dinner? Because they asked us. That's ridiculous. Think about like your standards and if you've got a bad feeling in your gut, or you think something's going to be, if you think something's going to be a nightmare, or you think something's going to be like a dinner party full of people that make you feel anxious, don't go.
Yeah. I'd have friends who are like, oh, I've got to go to dinner with these
Don't
people.
go.
And I don't want to go. Then
Best
why
advice.
going?
Don't
Because
go.
I feel bad. What do you feel bad about?
No,
It's
doesn't
like
matter.
you're doing this for them, not for
Yeah,
your
you're
own.
doing it for them. Exactly. And I think that
End of the night, you're like,
should-
I just gave my night up for somebody that I didn't want to even go see.
we should champion that. Also, we should champion that. So in London, same as LA, you've got like the West and East divide. Like getting from
Right.
West London getting from West London to East London is like a fucking schlep across town, especially the winter. Fuck this. Remember, like someone who I knew was a friend but wasn't really a friend was like guilt tripping me and everyone else. You got to come to my party, and it's snowing. There was ice on the roads, and I'm like, we got to go. Like we've been invited. We got to go, and the car didn't start. And I got there, and I was the only motherfucker that had bothered to turn up because everyone else was no. It's freezing cold and snowing, and it's a dumb night to have a party.
But you went anyway because
I was a people pleaser, and I
Wow,
didn't have the balls
exactly.
to be able to make decisions for myself. So the other problem is that when you're inebriated a lot of the time, you're quite bad at making good decisions. So then when you sober up, it takes a while for you to start to trust your ability to make good decisions.
Yeah, I bet that's hand in hand. I could see that. Now, can
Well,
you be around people that are drinking? Do you
Great, no problem.
use with any of that?
Nope, zero, none. It's great. I know that the whole like phrasing is like never say never, and like you're only like 1 second away from your next drink. Of course, who knows? Who knows what the future holds? I can put my hand on my heart, so I'm never touching a fucking drop of alcohol or taking drugs again. My life's too valuable now for me. A lot of people, it's tragic, but a lot of people that relapse because they stopped drinking and taking drugs, but they never figured themselves out. So the only thing you're doing then is you're just being abstinent, right? You're just abstaining by force, mental force, to stop drinking and taking drugs. Unless you're figuring out the whole reason why you're still desperate to, the whole reason why you're so unhappy, the whole reason why you're so desperately miserable or scared or worried, or have some sort of mental health thing that really should be treated or that you've already talked about, you're very close to relapsing at any given point, unless you do work to try and figure out all of those things about yourself. So a lot of people, and many people I have known, they're sober, but then you can tell that they're miserable and that something is not clicked. It's just, there's no point in being sober unless you start trying to figure out why you were an addict or an alcoholic in the first place. And to my point, quite a lot of people, they go out one time and they OD, or something happens, right? So I've lost a bunch of people along the way through. They're like, they never quite cracked it. And they're like, oh, just have some heroin tonight. It'll be fine. Overdose.
Yeah, they've gone over the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, last night I was out at a dinner party with my girlfriend and her brother's in town. He loves a drink. Maybe a little bit too much, but that's not for me to judge. He seems fine. He doesn't seem like he's got huge, major mental health issues. He just looks like he just likes to drink. So we
Yeah.
were at a bar and he was drinking and there's other people near us were drinking. And at some point, someone even asked me if the wine was corked, gave it I guess I gave the cork bottle a sniff and I thought, that's probably a bit too close to home. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I still had no desire to like tip the wine in my mouth, but I'm like, I don't need to be holding bottles of alcohol at every point. Let's just keep this real. Then the smell kind of gave me like,
Well, I was gonna ask,
um,
does your girlfriend drink or both
yep.
of you? She does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but funnily enough, she loves that I'm sober. It's her favorite thing because she knows what she's getting.
Yeah.
She's been with alcoholic people before. And she's been through bad experiences where she's not known where partner is or turns up drunk or goes missing. She's had a similar thing that would have been like if she was married to me. She doesn't need that again. And she says it's like her favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, look at you. You're very grounded. Your energy goes up when you talk about how good you feel and the life that you have created for yourself since
Yeah.
deciding that you're not going to have another drink. It's a big thing.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I'm very proud of myself. It's endorphins and dopamine hits. And then if you've got that, sort of, I need something, and you get some relief from it, then you're off to the fucking races. Welcome to addiction. I would want people to know that it's okay to be going through some shit and that you can tell people or talk to someone about it. Because I didn't do that for 20 years. I really fucking wish I had. But again, I had something instilled in me that asking for help is weak. You're a weak human. That's just my old, like, tiny Luke child playing in, you got this, Luke. No one else can help you. You're gonna hide all this, and this is gonna make you feel like you've got your own fucking secret and you're stronger than people think you are. If only I knew that I could have put my hand up and shouted, fucking help me to somebody. But this is where it's landed, right? So again, it is what it is. And I'm here because this is how I got here. And it's cool. It's fine. I'm sorry for the people that I fucked over along the way. And I've tried to make as many amends to those people, as much as I hate that phrase. But that feels good too. I'm really sorry I did this to you. Or I hope you know that I was in the throes of something pretty fucking major and that wasn't me. And people might accept it and people might tell you to go fuck yourself. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to let anyone else's judgment bring me down anymore. And also, I used to think everyone was thinking about me all the time. What must people think about me? No one's thinking about me. No one's thinking about you. No one's thinking about the people that think that their life is the fucking headline act. It isn't. Everyone here has got fucking problems that they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
I think it's those hard, shitty moments that really shape who we are and make us better people.
Agree. Of course.
Especially for those of us who have a positive mindset. We're not getting through something hard and complaining about it every single day of our life. We're getting through it and we're shouting out at the treetops and talking about it.
Totally. Yeah, that's the idea. And that's why you're here and that's why I'm here. It's good to talk about it. Like, it feels good to talk about it. All the things that I thought, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, who knew? I remember 2 days after that episode with the breath test. No, before that, a day after I'd been thrown out of home when I was drunk, still drinking and going to the motels and maxing out my credit card. And I had access to this gym and I was sitting in this gym for God knows what reason, probably drunk, trying to do some weights. And I remember just the whole gravity of everything hit me of what the fuck have I done? Like, what is happening? I'm never going to be the same again. My life is over. And at the end of the day, that was all true. I've never been the same again. And my life was over, but that part of my life was over. And the beginning from that point on was going to be something, I didn't know it then, it was going to be something bordering on miraculous. When I look back at that moment sitting in the gym, and I just remember the desperation of how I was feeling and thinking, I can't imagine getting through this. I can't imagine a world where I'm ever going to be okay. That was the absolute fucking bottom of the barrel of hell of how I felt. I can't even put it into words. Like, this is what hell feels like. It's a realization I couldn't stop. I was never going to get sober. I'm going to lose my children. I've been thrown out of home. I don't have any money. Sleeping in a fucking motel. Just about to max out my credit cards. What am I doing? Where are my friends? What am I doing? What's happening?
Mm.
That would turn out to be like the turning point. And when I look back on that, firstly I said to you before, I'm like, who the fuck? I was possessed. The fuck was that? What was I doing? I'm a clever fucking human being. How did I get to that point? And now I'm like, if anyone's listening to this, you do get over it. Time it's the worst possible thing when someone tells you that your feelings will change or your heart will mend or you won't feel like you do today, tomorrow, or you'll feel better in a month. You're like, fuck off. I don't believe you because I'm feeling how I'm feeling right now and I will never feel any different. Right? When you, like heartbreak, right? I've had my heart broken twice in my life and that's not a nice feeling. I can tell you now that I'm not heartbroken about those things, not even remotely. I can tell you now that I'm not in guilt and shame about the things I did on that day when I was sitting in the gym that was in the top of my mind about how have I got to this point. I can talk about it now. Like that's a gift to me to have gone through that stuff and come out the other side.
Exactly. You wouldn't be who you are today had you not gone through that. You'd be somebody totally different.
Exactly. And maybe not like living life to its fullest, like maybe not really understanding who I really ever was. Like maybe I would just like meander along through my life and that would be the end of that. I used to think when I was drinking, I was like, what was the point? What am I doing here? I don't understand what the point in life is. I don't feel happy. I don't feel sad. I feel numb every day of my fucking life. I feel scared, sad, depressed, and numb. What am I doing here? I can't do this anymore. And now I can go through a day and I can be sad, scared, happy, excited, exhilarated, nervous, worried. It's fucking great.
That's how we feel.
Yeah.
Feelings are scary. There's no doubt about that. Facing something that you don't want to face is scary and hard.
Yeah.
But eventually we make it through those feelings. They don't last forever.
Yeah. Time heals.
It does. If you went back today and you met that person right now, what would you say to them? Everything that you know now.
The problem is I don't think I'd listen. So I'd have to start off by having a shot with that person. I think that I needed to understand that it was going to be okay. I would tell myself that I was a valid human being, that I would tell myself I love you to him. I'd give him a hug because he needed a hug more than anything. And I'd tell him that he didn't need all the things that you thought he needed in order to get through the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a bit of authenticity. It was 20 years of acting. It was 20 years of cover up. 20 years, from 20 to 40 was 20 years of playing a part. I would never tell anyone if I was feeling bad, if I was feeling sick, if I was sad, if I was unhappy, if I was angry. I just didn't feel good, just didn't feel right. But at least when I drank, I felt numb. And that turned the noise down, turned the anxiety down in my brain. Drinking on medication as well is like so bad for you. That's why the blackouts occurred. And then I'd be like, oh, it must be the wine mixing with the medication that's causing the blackouts. Oh, tonight I'll drink whiskey. Oh, that was like double blackouts. I needed reassuring. But the thing is that no one knew that I needed reassuring. So no one was going to give me any reassurance. They all thought I was fine. Everyone thought I was fine.
Luke needed a big hug.
I tell you what, if I like do a meditation, like I'm terrible at meditating because I have ADHD and all I do through meditation is worry about stuff. If I stop and I close my eyes or I'm doing like EMDR or something, and every now and then I'll try something. The only times that I've truly just let it all out is when I find myself in my brain, wherever little Luke is sitting at the bottom of the stairs when my parents were arguing upstairs, and I just don't feel safe. Like, I don't remember having a friend, or I don't remember having anyone to help me. And I just remember how lonely that feels. And when I take myself back there, that feels like, to me, the feeling I hated so much that I never wanted to feel again.